Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Our Gifted Children, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest all the way from the UK is Heather Prince. We're going to be talking today about our wonderful, gifted Indigo children. She says they've been prophesied for quite a while, and those that will bring them will have a new understanding of life. Her book, Indigo Children, are intuitive, bright, and strong-willed. Being a teenager is challenging anyway, but being an Indigo is both wonderful and an extra challenge. They are often misunderstood constantly. This world of one-size-fits-alls and the established rules and patterns do not apply to them. This causes problems at school and in the home. And her book, which actually the title I do not have right in front of me. What is the title of the book, love? So I can keep...
I am Indigo.
I am Indigo. The book, I am Indigo, it talks about the problems at home. It explains what the Indigo child is all about. It has a questionnaire to discover if a person is Indigo and which type. And you'll be fascinated to discover why Indigos are here. I'm very thankful that they are here, and the way that they see things in a very matter-of-fact but totally intuitive and enlightened way is the way that we need to see things. And as adults have really got misconstrued and just out to lunch as far as a lot is concerned these days, and we need our Indigo children to show us the way. So we're going to be talking about her own professional life and everything else that she's done and publishing of books, and we'll dive right into it. Her site is the Root Master, so I think you can deduce from that she actually does get to the root of things, because if you're not going to pay attention to the root, you will not be able to know what to prune at the top. Welcome to the show, love.
Thank you so much. That's a lovely welcome.
Indigo children, where we see so much of them now, and it's the wisdom that they carry and the articulation and the matter-of-factness in the way that they speak is so kind of conclusive, isn't it? And we look at them and go, but you're only a child. But whether they're only a child or not, they're carrying the universal wisdom here to impart it to us. And they don't seem to be having to go through all the other clutter that humans are imposing upon each other, especially children. They seem to break all the way through that, which is just so wonderful and so needed right now.
Absolutely. They have that intuitive ability from the word go, and as a child they can say, Mum, are you okay? And you go, yeah, I'm fine. And they go, no, you're not. They just know.
Yeah. They do. And this whole thing about children should be seen and not heard, and you're too young, what opinion do you have, is balderdash, because they have a download of knowledge and wisdom that they haven't got into the self-doubt of yet, right? As humans go into self-doubt, should I say that? Well, where did that come from? Should I need to validate it? And they just pour it out.
Yes, I think I am a mother of an Indigo child. He was my second son, my baby. I've got 3 children, and he was very different from his older brother and his older sister. So for me, it then made me question, why is he different? And that got me into the discovery of the children that have been called the Indigo kids. And he's my greatest teacher. So to anybody watching this who is a parent or a teacher or even a head of a school, and you've got some challenging children, they're quite likely to be Indigos. And it's very important to celebrate them and what they're good at, because I think in many educational systems, they've been trying to push some square pegs into round holes, but it's time now in our world to celebrate every child for who and what they are.
That goes for autistic children. You know,
Yeah.
our autism children are just very directional. You know, I had a gentleman on the other day, a veteran, who, when he came back from service, he was going to go down this way, become a history teacher. Then they discovered that their child was autistic and his wife was pregnant with a second one. So he decided to redirect so he could be at home more. And he said the things that he's learning from his child, and that she is an incredible engineer, the way that she could put things together. And there was that wonderful show, Izzy, I think Isabella something, a woman in the 30s that had autism, and she went on to completely redesign the cattle world, and just the way that she saw things in patterns. And they speak very matter-of-factly, and don't really have time for all the other bull that we seem to pile upon ourselves.
Yeah, they're very, very spiritual.
Yes.
Very spiritual, and they are a higher vibration.
Mm.
And we are a very dense, lower vibration here
Yes.
in our world. And they
Yeah.
find it very difficult to be here, but they've come here for a reason as well. And also any person that suffers with dyslexia.
Yes.
That's also a gift, because the brain is thinking in 3D images.
Yeah.
So the greatest designers, inventors have dyslexia. And again, the school system should be testing the children and helping them, not making them feel lesser.
Yes.
Or not good enough because they're unable to read as quick as their friend is, and they're taken out of the class for special reading. I've worked with adults that are still emotionally and mentally affected from being a useless or a stupid child. They weren't. They had dyslexia. Everything should be celebrated, and everyone should feel special in their own right.
100% agree with you. I was one of those children. You know, as one of the people I interviewed, she said, not disabled, differently abled. I only found out I had dyslexia at 21. It was not even something that was even on the radar when I was at school. I was a very sickly child, so I was away from school a lot. And it was just basically back of the class, you catch up if you can, and nobody bothered. But I would have conversations with teachers, and they would tell me their problems, and I had solutions for them. I just don't, how do you know that, dear? I don't know. But it was the information they needed at the time. I was just, you know, what they needed to know when they needed to know it, and it came through me. And I didn't understand half the time what I was saying. It didn't matter. I was that conduit for them. That was it. And they realized that I was different, but they didn't know that, you know, there wasn't a label for it, but they just knew that I didn't fit into the norm. So I had a couple of teachers that were really wonderful in teaching me the way I learned. And then other teachers say, you're just useless, failure. And I left school at 16. I exempted myself because I knew that the system would never serve me. And just being willing to experience life. Oh, can I do that? I don't know. Let's try. And getting in there and trying it. And no, yes, I can. Oh, no, this is not for me. And that's literally how I've learned everything in life, because there wasn't a system to teach me.
No, and coming back to the Indigos, they've come here in the world for a reason. And hopefully a lot of them are involved in the educational system, which needs to be tweaked, not just here in the UK.
I think tweaked is actually a little too...
Well, I don't think we can see now from the current world situation, people are fearful of change.
I know, yes.
Everything to stay the same. Right now, everything's become home working. Now, a very high percentage of people want to stay home working. Yeah. It's only a low percentage that want to return back into the office environment. Now, it's going to be same for the educational system. The ones at the top that have always done it this way will want to do it this way because change is too scary. But the Indigos have come and will lead the way with changes in all ways of life. But particularly, we need to work with the children. They are our future. And right now, those children are fearful because of what's being given out on the news. But if we can help them and support them with homeschooling, and there's people able to do that if they're not having to work themselves, then that's the way forward, and celebrate what they can do, not focus on what they can't do.
Adjustment. The virtual classroom, the teacher can still teach the kids a small number at a time through Zoom.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
still do projects and show it.
Yeah.
We know how savvy kids are on the computer. You've got a problem, ask them. How do I do this? Oh, grandma. And they can get on there and do their essays and do everything like that and just press send. So I think we're going to go very much to the virtual classroom. That doesn't mean school is going to be obsolete altogether, but especially in this adjustment world that we're in right now, because we've been shaken up to wake up, to step up, to change it up. This change that we're going through right now is being forced upon us, so we'll have to get creative with it. And our Indigo children are saying, yeah, just come and do it this way. We thrive like this. So take the children where they thrive.
Yeah, they just get on with it. My Indigo son is now an adult with 3 children of his own, and he is very, very set in his routine of going to the gym every single day and working out different parts of the body. And when this hit and the gym closed, it was like, whoa. But he was resourceful and decided to go jogging out in nature, which I'd been encouraging him to do. And he'd be going, no. But now he does it. He loves it. And, you adapt.
Yes. Well, that's what it's all about right now, isn't it? There's no point kicking and screaming about, give me back my old world. When, there's a reason why this disruption is going on in the world right now. And the reason why it's going to take so long before it calms down, because the way we were living in every country was just so disruptive to the psyche, to the collective energy, and so dysfunctional on every level, that if we continued like that, we would be pressing our own delete button. We have to change. We have to step up. And that means that we have to allow the people with the alternative ideas to step up. And those Indigo's children, they have them. They have just simply, and the thing is, it's simple, isn't it? It's not highly complicated. It's simple. It's simple in the approach. Even if it's a complex equation, it's still simple and adoptable because they've made it simple.
Absolutely. And, if we can listen to the creativity of new ideas, and we can trial them and test them out and then make up our mind whether that suits or not. I think we have to be a lot more flexible right now.
On so many levels, right? I mean, we know that most kids are not going to go back to school in September. In fact, actually in the States, there were one school district was going to have the parents sign a thing that if their kids got COVID and died for it, they couldn't be sued, which is like, you're going to send your kid back to school with that?
Wow.
No accountability, nothing. And we have seen the evidence of rushing back to work, and how that second wave has been even worse. And then there's going to be a third wave in the fall with the flu season that's going to be even more so. There isn't a country out there that's not in an economic dire straits right now. This is our test on our humanity and how we can step up, how we can be creative.
I believe so. I believe that we became extremely materialistic.
Oh, yes.
And I think this is a bit of a shake-up for us all to realise that we are responsible for our own health. And if we've got families, for our families' health, what we're putting in our bodies and how we're treating the planet that we're living on.
100%, 100%. It's a really good time to look at our own lives and go, has it been working for me? Am I really happy doing that? Have I become a slave to my work and to the expectations put upon me? Have I taken a breath? Am I following a path that I really want for myself? Am I allowing my own creativity to go? And if there's no to any one of those questions, then it's time to review and renew. Yes. And this is the time for redirections. This is the time to go, I don't care if I was very good at that sales job, going from place to place. I didn't enjoy it. How can I take that skill and apply it to something else that I can do online and or in a different community altogether and enjoy it? Because I think that's also something the Indigo children are here to teach us, is how to enjoy.
Absolutely. I worked with a man who had a dream of a global business, and he created a monster. And he was in aeroplanes, he was in airports a lot, he was getting delays, he was getting there, he was exhausted, he wasn't spending time with his loved ones. And then lockdown happened, and he's so happy.
Yeah.
Because he realized he created a monster.
Yes.
That wasn't what he wanted at all.
And so many people I know that either have said, well, you know what? I was close to retirement anyway. I'm going to retire and I'm going to go and do what I want to do. Or many of the business people saying, I was on that plane. I was gone 8 months of the year. And now I'm having to do everything by Zoom. And there's a commercial over here where people have these Zoom meetings, kind of boardroom meetings. And then it's lunchtime, see you in an hour. And the person gets out, strips off the jacket and shirt and goes surfing. And then comes back, right? And that's where we're at right now. I actually interviewed a surfer the other day, a businessman. And he says, my business has radically changed. I'm almost semi-retired, but nobody will let me retire. So now I am there consulting via Zoom, but I can get more surfing time in. Right. And that's the thing is, we've, obviously if you're working shifts in a hospital or in a restaurant or in a store or something like this, then yes, you're following the clock. But for so many people, like entrepreneurs or even on the home front or anything, as long as it gets done, what you need to get done, it doesn't matter how long it takes or when you do it.
No, it doesn't. I think it's about being true to you. It's about integrity right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it boils down to. And responsibility. I think we were in a culture of, well, I'll smoke, I'll drink, I'll only get a few hours sleep every night, I'll work my fingers to the bone, and when I don't feel well, I'll go to the doctor and get a prescription.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work anymore.
No, it's put an enormous strain on the health thing because you haven't taken care of yourself. I actually have a show genre called Your Health is Your Choice. And it is. If you are going to put things in your body that are going to be detrimental to your body, at some point your body's going to retaliate. Right. Yeah. And we know that even cancer is an 80% emotional disease. So if you suddenly that rears up, it's like, okay, what emotion is in my life? Or what toxicity on the outside is in my life. And it's like, only you have the power. Only you have the power to make that choice, right? And that's where the Indigo children are so great, because they're so matter of fact in the way that they address things and the way they see things. Like, as your son, how you doing, Mom? I'm doing fine. No, you're not. They hold us accountable.
Yeah.
Don't give me that bull. I know you're not.
Yeah. They have that ability to see right through that facade that most of us wear a mask when we're out and about, and everyone just says politely, how are you? And we go, fine, because they don't really want to hear.
No.
Well, actually, I'm feeling a bit low today.
Yeah, I've got a leg dropping off, but no, I'm fine.
Exactly. So we all do it, but the Indigos, no.
No, I mean, that's the thing is, why are we apologizing for feeling low today? Maybe that person you will have a chance meeting with is just the person you need to pick you up.
Yeah.
And if they don't know that you're feeling low, how are they going to help you? If you go honest, you know what? I'm not having a good day today. Oh, why, love? What can I do? Because most people want to help. Right? And if you have a chance meeting and you're meeting up with a friend, there is no chance in that.
No.
It's all by design. And you're there with that person for a reason. So be open and honest about it.
Yes. Yes.
You have this like getting to the root problem. And when we're very good at band-aiding things, aren't we? We're very good at looking at the surface of everything and dealing with that. But it's like, putting a filling in a tooth without doing the root canal. And
Yeah, that's a very good thing to use as an example, because I always say I'm like the dentist.
Hmm.
People don't really want me to take a look at their teeth. Well, not that I do. I look at their Akashic record. And they don't want me to see, well, actually, there's a bit of tartar there, or we need to do a filling there, because they don't really want to open the can. But
Mm.
once we do, and we get to the root of the problem, and I had one man who was an alcoholic. He was cheating on his wife. He was having affairs. Did that make him a bad person? No. What was the root of it? The root of it came from the relationship that he had with his mum.
Mm.
And once we went through that relationship and the energies that were connected to it from the current life and indeed past lives as a soul family that had been together many, many times, and we looked at the ancestral shadows that he had triggered in his DNA, once all of that was cleared out of these soul records, everything changed for him, and he's no longer that guy. He is who he was born to be.
And that is the point, isn't it? Our self-discovery is discovering who we are born to be.
Yes.
What is our instrument to play? What orchestra are we meant to play in?
Yes.
And I feel that the Indigo children are coming in with a cleaner cachet. You know, they're coming in with none of the burden of past lives or ancestral DNA. They're coming in with a cleaner cachet and being able to just look at what needs to be done in this lifetime right now.
Yeah, and karma's changing. We've got here in the UK, we've got a full moon. We've had the full moon is in now, looking at the time. I think on the 18th of August, we've got a new moon. The karma for everyone is lifting. This is the time to clear the stuff and have that nice clean slate.
It's funny you should say on that date, because that date I am busy clearing. I've been sharing an apartment with someone which was going to be temporary, but now due to her age and things like this, I've decided to stay, but I want my own furniture. And on the 18th, I'm bringing my furniture in to make me feel comfortable with my own stuff around me. So yeah. I like that. The stars are with me. Yeah. Timing is a thing, isn't it, though? You know, it's paying attention to the time. You'll always get that nudge, nudge, wink, wink, or the cosmic 2x4 if you don't do things when you're meant to do them. And yes, it will come back around at some point, but then you've just made a huge delay. So reading the signs and paying attention to timing, don't keep putting off, right?
No, it's carpe diem. It's seize the day. And when opportunities knock, grab them.
With both hands and with great enthusiasm and with an open mind and an open heart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. And I've been working recently with many women coming out of a long-term relationship whose heart has been fragmented, let's say, needs to be put back together again. So yes, you can't have any relationship, whether that's a love relationship or a family or a friend relationship, without having an open heart and no judgment.
Oh boy, that's the big one though. You know, I mean, you know, as human beings, you know, we love to judge and persecute. You know, that's something that's been passed down to us from the beginning of time. And, you know, who are we to judge? You know,
who are we to judge? Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, we can dislike something that's been done or being said. We can hold people accountable for their actions if we think they have wronged someone else, because we're standing up for the victims. But who are we to judge and persecute? Because as you're pointing a finger, how many are pointing back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to work more on compassion and empathy, and that starts with ourselves. Self-compassion and self-empathy, and stop beating ourselves up, which 9 out of 10 people are doing.
It's kind of finding the indigo child within us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And that indigo ability is connected with the third eye, and it's working on trusting your intuition, which is why I created a 6-week course on how to ignite your intuitive abilities, because every client that I've worked with really, when it boiled down to the root, didn't trust themselves.
No.
And if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust anybody else.
Or you're not going to trust the messaging you're getting. You know, what I have found is, for, you know, so long, people are just living in the head. And the head is the constant expectation. You must do this. You should do this. You're not this. You're not that. And it's always, you know, everything about you're not and you can't. And if you don't do it that way, you're a failure. You know, all in this head. If they ignited the soul intuitiveness, you know, that comes from the universe, and it resonates with the heart and truth, and it's given to the spirit into action, the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. This is the data source. This is the tools, right? It's not where everything should be. It's wherever you end up with intuitively to know how to use the knowledge. So the wisdom will show you how to use the knowledge. If you stay up there, all it is knowledge, and you don't have any wisdom to know how to use it.
Exactly. And they say that your gut is your second brain. So when you listen to the signals that your body gives you, when you become self-aware, and then you're able to use that for your highest good.
Always. I mean, it's you know, how do you know that? I don't know, just a gut instinct. That's what we say, right? A gut instinct. Well, that is that you know, intuitiveness that comes in kind of around the navel. And where you want to get to is in your core, you know, to be so in tune with your core. And when somebody says, do this, and your core says, no, you know, it's not for you. It's not your truth. It's not your direction. Yeah.
It just raises that red flag, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so many business people that I've spoken to that are highly successful say that they trust their gut and they go with what feels right, which is getting out of your head and feeling with your heart.
Yes. It's got to make sense with your heart first before it will make sense with your head.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes just on that gut instinct, you know, I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. Because again, as human beings, we've been taught intellectually that we need to have all the facts and figures in front of us before we can make a decision. Intuitively, we're saying make an intuitive decision.
Yes.
So we're reversing it.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people.
It's a challenge for most of the people that I've worked with, which is why rather than repeating it all the time, I've put it into an online course so anyone anywhere can work through it. And it just gets them to trust themselves, and whether that's with a relationship or whether that's with their work or with money decisions, it just helps make those best decisions for your highest good.
The thing is, people have got to have a relationship with themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, with their source, you know, with their gut, with their heart, with their spirit. They've got to first find that love within themselves for themselves.
Yes.
You know, they've got to be inquisitive and investigative of what is out there, you know, exploratory, without the conditions, without constantly putting a hand on their own chest. And when you step into that energy, that frequency, of doing it from a place of love, from you know, the desire to see who you can help, what you can make better, you've raised that frequency, you've raised that vibration, and now you're going to attract those people that are on that same vibe, and collectively together you become that orchestra that really can resonate out to people who need to hear you.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting there. This is the challenge, I think, where we're at right now. And, you know, having this course, I think, is extremely apropos at the present moment, because there's an awful lot of people who are saying, well, my life has been turned upside down. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And, you know, practically it's going online, right? So it's a lot of businesses are going online. There are even people offering free training of coding because they need coders like crazy. And we did a show on that. And it's about that readjustment. But before you go rushing out, chasing another job or chasing another career, take the time to breathe and go in and do some self-exploration of who you really are, what your skills really are, and what you really love to do, what you really want to see happen, because then you'll make it happen.
Yeah. And what kind of lifestyle you want, and where ideally you'd like to live, and what that means to you. So I think that this is a time of a huge transition. And I know that that can feel scary, but when you look at a caterpillar and it goes into its catalyst and becomes the most beautiful butterfly, embrace this time as being your catalyst to create something better.
Well, and also we know that the caterpillar becomes goo, like a blob of goo. Right now, in that goo, what can you define? Anything? You can't. It's literally reconstructing itself to come out and be that beautiful butterfly.
Yes.
So allow yourself to go into the goo stage.
Yes.
You know, you're not looking for sense. You don't want to look for head sense. You want to look for heart sense.
Yes, you want to really focus on how things feel, and how you feel and what is right for you, not what is right for someone else. Of course, you have to be considerate if you're part of a family, but it all boils down to what's right for you. And I've worked with so many people that say their parents were in medicine. They were expected go into a career in medicine, but they wanted to be an actor, or they wanted to write their own music, and it was frowned upon, and it made them feel bad and guilty and shameful. But there's no reason for that. It's okay to be you.
And, you know, that brings up quite a number of people I know. I mean, one person went all the way through medical school. He came out with shining awards and dropped it completely and went into the hotel business. He did it for his parents. You know, another person got his law degree, gave it to his mother and said, there you go, you do something with it. I've never wanted to do it in the first place.
You can't live your dreams through your children. And I know there's a lot of people out there that wanted to be a singer or in a band, or they wanted to be an actress, and they encourage their children. But if the child wants to do it, that's wonderful. But if the child wants to go kick a ball about, let them kick the ball.
Let them be a child.
Let them be who they are.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if you watch, you know, Britain's Got Talent. You know, we have America's Got Talent over here. And every year, you know, the youth talent is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And, you know,
we are live. I have a phone call. I'm going to... Can't talk now. Sorry.
That's okay.
Do apologise.
Not to worry. Not me. This means you're in demand. But what I love about those shows is that you'll see a 10-year-old and she sang the Shallow song, you know, and just brilliantly. And then there's, I think, another 8 or 9-year-old who did a dog act, you know, out of Britain, and did it all online. And the confidence. You know, there was another girl from another country who did a fantastic act with cats. Cats are the most stubborn creatures out there. And she had them performing tricks, and she was so young, I think 11 or 12. These are our Indigo children. They've been given a talent and a gift to inspire us, because we look at them in awe. I think they could do that so young and be so confident and be so grown up. Yeah, a lot to learn from them.
Yeah, I think the kids of today have come to teach us a lot. And for us to remain with that childlike curiosity that so many of us as adults lose, and we kind of put our dreams to the side. But it's time to dream again and go for your dreams. I think the worst thing is to lay on a deathbed and think, oh, I never did what I wanted to do. Go and do it.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, when we live our life by expectations, which in the last 100 or more years has been very academia, you must have, you know, at least a high school diploma, or you must have a degree to be important, and you need that master's to do this and do that. And everything is about learning somebody else's material. When you look at the creative people, the explorers, they're going with that gut feeling, and they're in that inquisitive mind discovering things, and they are the people that bring those incredibly enlightened creations to us that change our lives, because they followed the intuition instead of the expectation.
1,000,000% right.
We need more of those. We definitely need more of those. I remember a few years ago, I was backing an electric motor, and it was kind of a quantum motor. It was kind of blowing the minds because of the way it worked. But it was around 2008, and then there was a crash, and people told us it couldn't work mathematically, and we proved that it could. And we went from one investor to the other, and they're all saying, oh, this is incredible. It could be used in this industry and that industry and that industry. So we say, you're going to back it? Yeah, go and build the prototype. Go and prove this. Go and prove that. And we'd already had one prototype. But go and do the next stage. And we said, but we need money for the next stage. Well, when it's all done, then I'll get behind it. And that never made sense to me. Why are we not getting behind the people with the innovative ideas and pouring the money and the support in them to see where they can go with it, not waiting for it to be built? How many innovations out there have been shelved because people didn't see the quick buck, right? And they didn't have the vision to see where it could go. And unless they were going to turn over the money quickly, they weren't going to get behind it. And we're the ones losing out for that. And we need to get behind that kind of creativity.
1,000,000%. And I love the story of Henry Ford, that kept telling his people to go back and do what he asked them to do. And they went, no, it's not possible. And he went, yes, it is. Go back, keep doing it until they did it. And it's people like that have that vision. And did they get a degree? Did they get their certificates? No, they didn't. They worked with their gut.
Yeah, and Hugh, not Hefner, is it? No. The aeroplane guy, movies and things like this. Gosh, the surname forgets me right now, but absolute genius. With the planes, they go, no, we need more pivots. We need more this. No, we need that. No, we need this. And it's like, it can't be done. Yes, it can. And he'd be the first one to fly it. And then he was the one that invented the push-up bra. It's just the way he saw things. And I think if we looked at him today, we would most certainly say autistic or indigo for sure. But at that time, he was just eccentric.
Yes. Yeah. People get labeled, don't they?
Yeah. I don't mind being eccentric. I've been called that all my life because I do things differently. I just don't see what they see. I'm just doing it Sarah's way. And I'm not a conformist because I wouldn't know how to conform. I just wouldn't know how. I don't fit there.
I think that's fine because you're being true to you.
Yeah. And it's been a battle, most certainly. I mean, the biggest gift that we can give our children right now is accept the gift that they are. Except that we may not comprehend everything that they are and that they do, but understand that is the gift. And it's not for us to change it. It's not for us to demand it be something else and conform. Let's take conformity out of it altogether, right? There's codes of conduct, codes of behavior, but let creativity show us the way.
Yeah, I always say to the parents, ask the children for the solution.
Yeah.
Because they'll come out with the solution. If they have done something that the parents don't like and have told them not to do it, and they want to give them some kind of a reprimand, ask the child what it should be, and the child will give the answer.
Yeah. Yes. I was a nanny for a while when I first came to Canada, and whenever this one particular child played up and she had little tantrums, I would put her in the corner, not facing the corner, but facing us, just time out. We would go ahead and have fun. And I say, okay, have you had enough? Yes. Do you want to come back and join us? Yes. Are we going to do it nice and cheerfully? Yes. Okay, come on. But instead of facing the wall and not seeing what's going on, she saw how much we were having fun, and just with an attitude adjustment, she can join us. And so it never took her long before she came back in and enjoyed it, right? So boundaries, yes, but let's not have borders. Let's not have borders.
Yes, boundaries, And they love to push the boundaries.
Oh God, that's what it's about, right? Pushing those boundaries. How far can I go? Yeah. And, sometimes you have to push back, even with an indigo child, because they don't have that boundary type thing. Everything is just open space to explore. And sometimes you have to show them a boundary and it's the same with autistic kids. What parents generally do is always teaching the niceties of how to speak to people because they don't have the filter and they're just going to speak out. And so they learn certain boundaries. And that's okay. It's just being polite, which I think politeness is something we've seemed to have lost, especially in our youth today.
Yes, I think that there has to be guidance of what is acceptable
Yeah.
and not hurtful, and there has to be some kind of a filter.
Where do you think this almost viciousness comes from with kids? There seems to be no respect for themselves, for their elders, for education, for systems. And I understand, you know, they're caught up in the whirlwind of this disruption that's going on. But, you know, is it coming from the home front? Is it just part of that energy that's out there that's just made these kids not give a damn?
I really do feel that right now, when people are having their temperatures taken,
Mm-hmm.
they're pointing an infrared kind of a gun at your head. What message is that sending out in the world? That it's okay, even if it's temperature taking, that they're pointing at your pineal gland.
Mm.
That's part of our connection to source, to our intuitive nature. I believe from the medical profession, you can take somebody's temperature more accurately at the wrist,
Mm-hmm.
which I would certainly encourage and support. And the computer games that the children are watching, and they're spending a lot of time playing these games without being with other humans, it's about killing all the
I
time.
know.
So what message are we sharing with these children that it's okay to kill? And when we look at the people that have been in the Vietnam War or whatever war, and they come back with post-traumatic stress syndrome, it's because us as humans, our blueprint is not to hurt our fellow human. It's inhuman. It's
Yes.
barbaric to kill. Yes, it's part of nature. If, you know, the lion's going to kill the antelope because that's the food chain. But just to kill over an argument or land or whatever it's about, it's quite lowly on a spiritual scale. And I know that spirit want to uplift it.
Oh God, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's I call them the third dimensioners, you know, because they still live in anger and fear and loathing, and their solution is to kill, you know, and in that angry vibration all the time. How can spirit come in? Because it's, you know, spirit is about calmness. It's about clarity. It's about creativity, and you can't have that if you're in the hate zone.
It's
So
about love. We're
it
all here.
is.
We're all
Yes.
here. We're made, hopefully, with love. We are born with love. We go into a community of love, and then we are love, and we speak love and think love and do things with love, and we be love. That's the idea of it.
Yes.
It's
And I
all
think
got a bit
I
out of
think
balance.
it's lost its balance completely, because I think, you know, media is wonderful, and we're on this wonderful medium right now, but it's like you look at money and, oh, money is evil. No, how money is used can be evil or good. The choice is, are you going to put it to good, where you're actually going to, you know, feed the seeds, you know, that need to grow, or are you going to put it towards weaponry and hate that is the killing machine? And that choice is ours. That choice is ours when it comes to vote. That choice is ours in the actions we take, in the reactions that we take. And as you said, the kids, especially a lot of the younger generation right now, they're angry and angry and angry because they're not making any connection to source whatsoever. And all they have around them is either the video games or gang mentality or poverty, and also on the news. You know, the CNN effect, take a pimple and make it into a volcanic eruption. They look at their future and say, what future? The world's going to be at an end by the time I get grown up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of young people that do want to change the world, that
Yes.
do want to help our environment and what's happening with our weather. And those people are going to be huge change makers.
Yes.
And I think that our primal need is to be part of a community.
Yeah.
So tribes, gangs have always been part of our way because we want to belong. So I think that people need to find out what they want to be involved with. That might be saving the rainforest, it might be helping the lions or the tigers or the orangutans, and find a cause, a good cause that they can then be part of that group with, rather than the lower, denser stuff, which is drugs and all that kind of thing. Again, about money, and people need to know money is an energy.
And how it's used is going to be also how it promotes the energy. You
Yeah.
know, like 3 years ago, I did a show on sex trafficking, and I was blown away to hear that at that time, sex traders, sex trafficking around the world, that they have numbers for, this is, never mind the numbers they don't know, $150 billion a year worldwide. And if you can't look at that as an epidemic, a pandemic of its own.
Pandemic.
Yeah, right. You know, if you can't look at that as a sickness, and what's behind that? There's lust and money. And those are from empty souls that don't know how to get the abundance and the joy out of life through living life. They keep trying to pour things into themselves to make themselves feel better. Life is an inside out job. If you're not willing to do the work on the inside, nothing you do from the outside in is going to make you feel whole.
That's a complete imbalance of control and power. So many of us have chosen a life theme. One of them may be control and power, but it's about self-control and it's about self-empowerment, not control over little girls or being powered over and making them become sex slaves. And the world as it's changing now is bringing stuff to light. It's unpleasant, but it needs to be dealt with and wiped out.
Exactly. You know, it's, as somebody says, let's drain the swamp. And what we're looking at, or he's very much part of the swamp, and what it's done is that it's shed light on the swamps everywhere. You know, we've been ignoring it, almost going la 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 la, and now we're being forced to see it, forced to acknowledge it, and we're also being forced to step up and change it. And well, I'm powerless. No, you're not. You step into your own empowerment. And you start participating and caring about your community, that you are now become the solution instead of part of the problem. And so really, this is where our Indigo children are showing us, aren't they? Be a part of the solution. Like Greta, when she was attacked by Trump, it's like, you know, her eyes just like, it's not even worth answering. You know, and the wisdom behind that is not cockiness. She knows that trying to talk to someone like that would be a waste of time.
It's a waste of energy.
Waste of energy. She's going to put it where it counts. And these are the wonderful children that we're seeing out there today, whether it's a gift in singing voice or writing, or whether it's activism. I say actionism is the new activism, because activism is all about yelling and shouting about it. Actionism is doing something about it.
Absolutely.
And our Indigo children are doing something about it. Everything they're doing that inspires us, invites us to step up. It invites us to look at, you know what, we've let these kids down. We were a part of that because we fed it. We went along with that more is more and we need more to be happy. We now realize that more doesn't make us happy, and that happiness is an inside job. And happiness is participation, not only in our own lives, but in our community's lives.
The greatest, I mean, I've got an app, Meditation for Happiness, on the App Store, and I've said in it, the greatest thing you can do to feel happy is to give. What can you give?
And you know what, people say, well, you know, I'm not an Indigo child, I'm not gifted. You have no idea what your gift is. You could change one person's day by a smile and a caring. How are you doing today, love? You know, I'm flustered today. Oh, you know what? Take a deep breath. It's going to get better. Letting that person know that you see them, that you hear them, that you feel them, and giving them some loving energy will change their day, and then change the energy in which they treat everyone else. The ripple effect.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Is it so hard? Really, is it so hard? You know, I mean, COVID has certainly shown us the people that have stepped up. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
I mean, we've really seen that in corporations, in smaller industries, in restaurants, and who are our heroes now? The
Yes.
you know the storekeepers, the janitors, you know, obviously our nurses and doctors, the bus drivers, the truck drivers getting the food to us. These were all considered lowly jobs. Now we've actually seen the importance of their job and how we cannot survive
Absolutely.
without them. So
Absolutely.
instead of worshiping that CEO up there because he has $1 trillion, let's look at the person that's working for minimum wage and putting their life on the line for you and ask who the hero is.
So it's turned everything
Yeah.
around,
Mm-hmm.
and it's made us realize what value truly is.
Yes. We needed that. We'd lost that sense of value, hadn't we?
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
put it in things. The value is in I have this address at this house and I drive this car and I wear these clothes.
Yes.
And, you know, and I follow the Kardashians. So therefore I must be of value. Instead
Yeah.
of the person that maybe live in a virtual shoebox and but is out there every day doing something for someone else, you know?
Yes. Yeah, they're the real heroes.
They are. And, you know, there are indigo people, whether they're the children or not. I think there's an indigo in every one of us. And it's when are we going to step into it? Because the invitation is out.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do people get hold of your book? How do people get hold of that app?
Okay.
How do people get hold of your course?
Here is I Am Indigo. On my website, www.therootmaster.co.uk, you'll see a button at the top that says shop. So everything that I offer is on that page, that shop page, including I Am Indigo, and the links to the apps. One is the happiness meditation. The other is meditation for pregnancy and birth, because I had 3 of my girls, my daughter and my 2 daughter-in-laws, all pregnant all together. And I used to do meditation for them. And I thought, oh, I might as well record it. And I created the app. The programs, how to ignite the power of your intuitive mind, the fearlessly moving forwards after coming out of a long-term relationship, that's all there on the website, www.therootmaster, spelled ROOT.co.uk. And if anybody wants to reach out for me, you can just click the button on my website and send me a message.
Excellent. The answers are there. Now it's, are you going to step up and embrace them? Because, you know, the big question is right now is like, where am I? What's tomorrow going to be? What can I do to adjust to this life? And then this is the reason why I do these shows, because there are people like you who are a step ahead, who have got these things that are going to help people navigate, you know, their future. And, you know, getting to the root cause, you have to get to the root first. You have to sort out the roots. As I said, it's like having a filling over, you know, a needed root canal. Eventually they're going to have to do that root canal or pull the whole tooth. So
exactly. And then, you know, I've got clients that I've worked with for over 16 years that you clear stuff and like going to the hygienist and getting your teeth done, but year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, it's good to go for a checkup. So I do have my regular clientele that come to me for their private life and their professional life. So clearing the Akashic records is such a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah. And we've also got to remember too that, you know, there's trillions of cells in our body, and every single cell has a job to do, and it has a memory in it. And, you know, you can clear certain Akashic records, and then something later on triggers, and out comes that, you know, that memory again, and it needs to be cleared. So as you said, it's the maintenance after you've done the job.
Yeah, I think of it like an onion, and we can take off the outer layer of the onion, and then the next layer and the next layer, and then time goes on, and then there's another layer to be dealt with. But emotionally and mentally, we can only do it one step at a time. So it's a process.
And that's the thing, is that, yes, you've got a wonderful downloadable app that can help with meditation, but we've also got to remember there isn't a downloadable app to take us from here to here. It's not about that, you know, it's about being willing to take the journey, be willing to go through the process, finding our strength, finding our courage, finding our abilities, stepping into what our meaningful purpose is. That is a journey that you are meant to go on, and it will be whatever time it's meant to be. And in actual fact, even when you step into your meaningful purpose, that journey is going to continue to the end of time.
There is no ceiling. It's a continuous journey, which can be fun and should be fun. And waking up every day and doing whatever it is that you're doing should be a joy. And if it isn't, you're running a program which I call spiritual suicide, because you're not in your joy, and you have a birthright to be in that joy.
The spiritual suicide, I so agree. I mean, I went through a phase in my life where I just kind of became disconnected, and I was just like a human droid. I was living the human experience without my soul connection, and basically you could say I was dead. And it was that journey back into my soul, back into my spirit, igniting it again, and just stepping into my purpose. And what a difference. You know, it's like there's a reason to live now. You know, and that's the thing. If you're dissatisfied with your life right now, this is the time to take the action and start unraveling it, getting rid of that whole root canal thing, cleaning it out, and be willing to participate in your own life. This is not you putting a band-aid on or just injecting somebody with something. You're showing them the skills and the tools to look at the root problem, to how to clear it themselves, and how to process, you know, proceed further. We're not here to do it for them. We're here to show them how to do it for themselves.
Yes. Yeah, I should give them the tools, but it's like, if you want to bang a nail in the wall, I'll give you the hammer, but you have to get the hammer and bang the nail in the wall.
Yeah.
Yes, you can give someone the tools, but it's down to you.
Yes. So, okay, everything is on your site, therootmaster.co.uk, and of course you've got the Facebook, and your Facebook, sorry, I'm reading it without glasses. I better put my glasses on. I can't see a thing without it. So Facebook is The Root Master, Twitter is Heather Prince 61, Instagram, The Root Master, and you've also got a YouTube there as well, which people can subscribe to. So it's all there. And it, you know, just they've heard you, if they've been inspired by you, if they can connect, if they resonate, reach out. Reach out.
Yes, I've been told by Spirit that my life purpose is to show people how to reach their full potential. And by doing that, I myself will reach my full potential. So if anybody is watching this and you feel that there's something in your way of you going forward and reaching your full potential, please do reach out, because I do not charge a penny to have a clarity conversation with you.
Right. And that way will show where the synergy is, and the, you know, what you are needing to do. And, you know, that's the thing, is you want to be with someone where you can feel their energy. I feel comfortable with your energy, so therefore I can move forward with you. Yes. And it's okay if they don't, because it just means they're ready for a different energy right now.
Absolutely. And everything that I do is confidential.
Right. And, you know, it's, what have you got to lose? Actually, a hell of a lot if you're not willing to take your journey forward. You know, this is the time. This is the time. The spotlight is on you. What are you going to do about your life? Because when you look at the dysfunction out in society right now, it's filled with people who are not living their true life, who are have not stepped into their own creativity, who are not inspiring other people, who are not being honest with self. And those that have stepped into it and are living their meaningful purpose are the people that are contributing to the right energy. And we need you. We need people with the right energy. So please step up, because this is the shift that we're in right now. Step up, change it up in your own life, and you will see how it will change it up in society's life collectively.
Yes. It just takes one, doesn't it?
It does. You know, as we're inspired by those indigo children, really we're just saying there's an indigo child in you. You know, just take all the other crap and delete it and get down to the root problem and let that child out. Let that child out. It's filled with wisdom, and trust it and allow it, and explore where it's going to take you in wonderment. Right? We've lost our wonderment.
Yes.
We've lost our joy. So, sometimes I say just watch the children play.
Yes.
If you don't get a smile, there's something wrong. Watch puppy dogs and other animals play. If you can't get a smile, there's something wrong. You're totally disconnected from heart.
Absolutely.
We've got to ignite your heart. So go and deliberately put yourself in front of something that you know that will tug at your heart.
Yeah. Very good. Words of wisdom.
We need more heart in the world, don't we?
We sure do. We sure do.
So our indigo children, do not try and change them. Autistic children, do not try and change them. Learn from them. Where is that indigo child within you? Because it's waiting to come out. Be willing to take the journey and get to the root problem. Release yourself, right? If you are differently abled, embrace it. That's the gift you were given, to see things from that angle. And just be willing to participate in your own life and take your own journey, because you are the solution that we all seek.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today here, Heather.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And to everyone else there, remember, Heather and many others here on Self-Discovery Media have got the answers for you. It's, are you willing to step up and start applying those answers to yourself? Because we are needing you on a higher frequency, on a higher vibration. This is the only way the world is going to survive, and the only way humanity is going to survive on it. So I invite you to be inspired, to step up, change it up, and be the solution that we all need. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to bringing you more shows. Please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see the incredible lineup of genres and shows that we have for you. We are here to make a difference in your life. Thank you for listening.